to deliver his statement. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maximilian, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen. I would, at the outset, like to congratulate my friend, His Excellency Vladimir Voronkov, Under Secretary General and head of the OCT, on the launch of this program on the protection of religious sites from terrorist attacks. I would also like to thank my colleague, Ambassador Ali Al-Thani of Qatar, for the support that they have provided for this program. Excellencies, religion is a powerful organizing force in communities across the world. For many people, faith offers strength and hope, comfort and reassurance, moral compass and spiritual guidance. Pakistan has always underscored the importance of fostering a culture of dialogue and mutual respect and acceptance. The protection of places of worship should go hand in hand with combating all kinds of discrimination, xenophobia, racism, including the contemporary manifestations such as Islamophobia. We support the UN Plan of Action for the safeguarding of religious sites, and we have heard the statement of Mr. Mauritanis today. We believe that we should have a mapping exercise of all religious sites that should be protected. We welcome the launch of this OCT program, and it should be designed to implement the plan of action. Excellencies, attacks against the places of worship where freedom of religion is exercised, against mosques, churches, and other places of worship continue to occur and escalate with dreadful consistency across the world. We must develop a comprehensive response strategy. There are three terrorist trends which threaten religious sites. First, attacks perpetrated by terrorist organizations such as ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and their affiliated terrorist groups, as manifested in the Easter attacks in Sri Lanka by ISIL, the destruction and theft of religious and cultural heritage by ISIL and Al-Qaeda in Syria and Iraq, and ISIL-K's recent attack on a Sikh Gurdwara in Afghanistan. As a result of our collective efforts, I believe that we have succeeded in imposing defeats on ISIL and Al-Qaeda and associated terrorists in various regions of the world. However, the threat from these organizations and others, including against religious sites, has not been eliminated. Secondly, attacks by far-right, right-wing terrorism targeting minorities, especially Muslim religious sites, have proliferated around the world, as in Christchurch, Nice, Bayonne, and Copenhagen. The threat of terrorism from right-wing groups demands an urgent global response. These groups must be included in the response strategy of the UN's counterterrorism architecture, including the various General Assembly and Security Council mandated bodies. An interesting presentation was made by Mr. Klein about Germany's efforts to protect the Jewish community against acts of anti-Semitism. I believe that similar efforts should be established in these countries for the protection of Muslim communities as well, who are subjected to acts of Islamophobia. Thirdly, and most dangerously, we see the threat posed by state-sponsored violent nationalist ideologies and movements. This phenomena is most visible in the attacks by state-sponsored extremist Hindu groups on religious shrines and monuments in India. Their program is to eliminate the heritage and legacy of Islam in India through the destruction of Islamic shrines and monuments and the transformation of India's Muslims into a second-class citizens or non-citizens. This ominous neo-fascist plan commenced with the criminal destruction of the historic Babri Mosque in Ayodhya by BJP and RSS zealots in 1992. It was writ large in the acquittal by the Indian Supreme Court of the criminals who destroyed the mosque. Far from being punished, they were given the site of the demolished Babri Mosque to construct a Hindu temple. Shamefully, the foundation stone of the temple was laid by no other than the Prime Minister of India. And that too on the first anniversary of India's latest siege in occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Like the Babri Mosque, there are thousands of Muslim Islamic religious shrines and monuments which are threatened by the Hindutva fanatics. The Organization of the Islamic Conference has repeatedly called on the government of India to take immediate steps to ensure the protection of the over 3,000 mosques and Islamic holy sites across India and the protection of India's beleaguered 180 million Muslims who have been mercilessly massacred in numerous large and small pogroms. These thousands of threatened religious sites should be included in the roster of protected holy sites, which was mentioned by Mr. Munir Akram. We hope that the draft resolution on promoting a culture of peace and tolerance to safeguard religious sites, sponsored by Saudi Arabia, Pakistan, and others, will be adopted soon by the General Assembly. Excellencies, the terrorism of hate does not stop at India's borders. It is being perpetrated in occupied Jammu and Kashmir and against Pakistan. Pakistan has been the victim of consistent terrorist attacks, including against our churches, mosques, and other religious sites. In 2009, over 40 people were killed in a mosque attack in Rawalpindi. In 2013, 127 died in twin suicide bombings at a church in Peshawar. In 2015, 15 innocent Pakistanis died in a church attack in Lahore. And in 2017, 90 people lost their lives in an attack on a Sufi shrine. We have ample evidence that the attacks by UN-designated terrorist groups, the TTP and the JUA, are being sponsored by Indian intelligence agencies. Pakistan has shared this evidence with the 1267 Sanctions Committee. We hope the committee will take appropriate actions in accordance with the relevant Security Council resolutions. Excellencies, Pakistan will do whatever it takes to defeat terrorism and the designs of our enemy with a comprehensive whole of government and whole of society strategy. We look to the support of the United Nations agencies and its counterterrorism architecture to support us in this endeavor. I thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ambassador.